Kevin's mandate was that this could not be TV. To make a declarative statement, you go get the best in the business who make Marvel movies. You say, hey, man, this is what we want to do. And what they come back with blows your mind to the point that you can't believe you were lucky enough to be involved with it.
Gentlemen.
Gordon, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going good. Disney Plus is coming to Xfinity. You guys, it's the latest Infinity Stone in our Xfinity gauntlet of awesome entertainment. You're joining an amazing catalog. Just real quick, what are your picks for like your all-time Disney favorite?
Aladdin.
Yeah, Aladdin was, and of course I have to say Little Mermaid, I guess.
Little Mermaid, Lion King. I saw Lion King on Broadway the first week it opened. I slept outside the theater to get tickets for me and my girlfriend.
Good boyfriend. Look at you.
Yeah, she dumped me.
That soft heart shows itself as a chink in the armor.
She dumped me. I slept outside of the theater.
For circle of life, Anthony. It's a circle of life.
He's like, going to go to Phantom of the Opera. I'm out.
So I checked out the premiere of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Amazing. I couldn't believe the action was as good or better than the movies.
We can't lose this fight. If we do this, we're going to do it our own way.
One of the themes was like Captain America's filling his huge shoes. And in a way, you gentlemen are filling huge shoes because you're following the footsteps of WandaVision, The Mandalorian. No pressure, right? Piece of cake.
Well, I would venture to say the Mandalorian is a different beast. It's by far the best thing in Star Wars since the original 3 movies, by far. But it's a different beast. I think following WandaVision is a great setup for us because it showed the usual MCU audience that they don't know what to expect from these shows because it was so different, it was so unique. So, our show following that just sets up, they put the ball on the tee for us perfectly to hit a home run because the show was so dynamic and the performances were so amazing.
Okay. I know we're kind of tight on time, so I set up a lightning round for you guys. You're Disney's newest dynamic duo. So I'm going to give you some Disney dynamic duos, and you tell me who would win in a fight between the two. And we'll start off with Wanda Maximoff and Vision. Who would win?
Wanda.
Vision.
Wanda's one of the most powerful characters out there.
Vision. He has the stone.
She created the whole thing. Vision wouldn't even be around if it wasn't for her. It's a done deal. Okay,
guys. Lightning round. Yoda and the Mandalorian. Baby Yoda, excuse me.
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Okay. Timon and Pumbaa.
Ooh, Pumbaa.
He's got the weight advantage. Yeah. And finally, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I would have to say it depends. If we're, it depends. That's a pretty even fight.
Falcon can fly. So it's a whole other thing.
All right. Guys, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed the first episode, and I can't wait for the next 5.
See? That wasn't so hard.
Are you ready? Is you ready? Ready.
Okay.
You say you ready.
What are you doing?
Whole squad ready.
Are you having a staring contest?
Are you ready? Ready. Is you ready?
Just blink. Sweet Jesus. I mean, how old are you?
Kari, welcome to my Hangout.
Thank you very much for having me.
I checked out the premiere of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and the action is on par or better than the movies. Was that intentional?
Totally. From the beginning, we said we're making a movie. It's a 6-hour movie. That's how we came at it. That's what we intended. It was very important that the action sequences measured up. So, of course, like any filmmaker would, I wanted to reinvent Sam flying, and make it the best it could ever be. So I really did a deep dive into extreme sports coverage because people do jump out of planes and they put cameras in various places. And we have come to learn that aesthetic, that when the camera is here and somebody jumps out of a plane, it really is there. We really are jumping with them. But it's a slightly altered perspective than it is to look at it. So, yes, we slapped a bunch of cameras all over our stunt team and they jumped out of planes and, squirrel suits and the whole thing. So, yeah.
Now, what was it about Sam and Bucky that really appealed to you as 2 characters you wanted to bring to light?
Well, they've been with the MCU universe for some time, They're very important characters, and they have incredible stories. And we've never really been able to have the time to dig into those stories and get to meet them beyond, the surface of it. So the opportunity at the end of Endgame, when Sam is given the shield and he says, I don't think it's mine. And that opened sort of the Pandora's box of, oh, what's this going to be?
It feels like it belongs to someone else. That shield represents a lot of things to a lot of people.
I really enjoyed not only the opportunity to dive into those characters and go into the Winter Soldier. Who is he? Where is he? He gets his mind back. What is that? The mental health issue of it. When you get your mind back, now you're dealing with all of the legacy of what you've done and the guilt and having to cope with the consequences. And that was very interesting and very dramatically charged, emotionally charged. And Sam, at the same time, he is dealing with his own family issues. He's been given the shield and he has to deal with, what is that going to be? A Black man carrying this shield? Do I want that? Is it relevant anymore? What is that red, white, and blue right now? And this was a very current conversation and very relevant in the last couple of years, and specifically in the last year as things unfolded. So I was attracted to the project not only from the character exploration, but the politics of it, which is what I really love about the MCU, is that it's always under the surface. There is, some very politically charged comments.
I noticed in particular, there was a scene where Bucky was having a conversation where there was like these tight close-ups that seemed new to the universe and really exciting, and really kind of cranked up the tension. Was that something you intentionally put in there to like put your own like creative stamp on it?
Everything must serve character and serve story. So the notion of that particular camera work, but that in particular, that scene was really all about him being very trapped by himself, trapped by in his own prison, or a prison of his own making. And so I wanted the camera to really reflect, to capture what that was. It was finding a language for the show and for the characters that would make sense.
Kari, that's my time. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Malcolm, how's it going?
I'm good, man.
Good.
Who's that with the standing heroically on that thing next to the Stay Puft Man?
Oh, that's a certain Avenger known as Steve Rogers. You might know better as Captain America.
Yeah.
It's not just to impress you, my friend. It's been there for quite some time.
All right. So you're a real fan.
I am. Yes, sir. Man, I'm really excited to talk to you just because nobody hits it out of the park every time. But I feel like Marvel's track record is pretty impressive. Is it intimidating to be handed the ball and you got to run with it now?
It is absolutely intimidating. And then you see the other creators and they all feel it too. Nobody wants to be the one to fumble.
Now, this is, I watched the premiere, and it starts off with like a punch you in the mouth, kick-ass action scene. Was that intentional? So to kind of set the mood that like, this is just as good as the movies?
Yeah, it was Kevin's mandate. Because remember, we were supposed to be first up. And so Kevin's mandate was that this could not be TV, not in the storytelling nor in the visuals. And to make a declarative statement, you go get the best in the business who make Marvel movies, and you say, hey, man, this is what we want to do. And what they come back with blows your mind to the point that you can't believe you were lucky enough to be involved with it.
So to be given these two characters that aren't as well known, does that give you some wiggle room to try different things, or do you try to keep it as close to the comic books as possible? No,
you start with the comic books and then you just let humanity and reality and storytelling take over, and it always veers away. The spirit, the roots are always in those comics, and the roots are always, and the tendrils are also in the MCU. But with characters like this, there's a lot of free reign. At the same time, you have to remember Sebastian and Anthony have done a lot of work on these characters in their heads. And so anything you're doing with them has to feel honest to them because they've been bringing them to life for 10 years.
I have a plan. What is it?
Great.
And so that dance was awesome because the new backstories had to jibe with the psychology that was already built in the actors' minds. I had a good time doing that with them.
I find that really interesting because a good example is at the end of Civil War, the Winter Soldier was sent to Wakanda to go through deprogramming or whatever the process was, but we never really saw it. So
right.
Is that something Sebastian came up with on his own to use as a character, or is that something you guys worked together to discuss?
It's a huge collaborative family. It's Anthony, it's Sebastian, it's Kevin, it's Nate, it's Zoe, and your life is dedicated to the project. And so it is a collective who's pushing forward, you know what I'm saying? And it's really hard to remember where a given detail comes from because of the intensity of the collaboration.
Well, I think if it's a good detail, you should absolutely take credit for it.
Okay, then I did that.
Is it a challenge to kind of take these things that have existed for decades and decades and make them more palatable for modern day audiences?
It was the mission statement for me and for Marvel to do that. These heroes needed to be born from things that felt very relevant to the day, and their psychologies needed to be formed by and responding to things that feel very, very relevant to the day, because so much has shifted over the last few years, good and bad. It's just been an intense run. And we feel like these are truly modern heroes and truly modern stories that are connected to the times in a way that is so relevant. I hope the fans really respond to it, because each of these characters was given a personal storyline that's untethered from the big action storyline. And that personal storyline forces them to deal with the same kind of stuff you and me deal with. You know what I'm saying? Same with Sam. Sam is a Black man, and his personal storyline is rooted in Blackness, and we don't shy away from it. And I thought it created a modernity and a relevance to this piece that we are all very, very proud of.
Is it tough to balance the fantastic with the more relatable things, or does it just come naturally because this one is more based in reality than?
Yeah, it's weird how organically this process happens, because this entire series is defined by what Thanos did. Everything is happening because of it, right? Yet at the same time, as you're pointing out, everything we're seeing is so grounded and so much about human beings, some of whom, like Sam, don't even have powers, right? Dealing with issues like getting a bank loan, you know what I'm saying? So, and the way that tone came together, I think that's just a testament to the range Marvel has had, that you don't even have to question how those things are going to fit together, because they've already done it a million different ways and a million different times. And at this point, the fans will go on that ride with you.
By my count, Falcon has saved the world at least twice, and he can't get a bank loan?
Well, I mean, you look at Barack Obama and any superstar athlete trying to drive through a city, you know what I'm saying, in their car, and how are they going to be treated, or going shopping? Are they going to be followed by security? Or will they, you know what I'm saying? That's a reality that you just can't escape. And you know what I'm saying? You would be lying if you didn't write that scene, you didn't make that scene the way it went.
Yeah. Disney Plus is coming to Xfinity really soon, and you guys are joining an amazing roster of content. What is your all-time favorite Disney classic?
I'm gonna go somewhere where you don't expect, which is the animated Robin Hood with the fox and all them. That's probably my favorite Disney movie. And it's just because they used to rerun those movies when I was growing up as a little kid. And I went with my family, and it just, I don't know, that or the first Jungle Book, the animated Jungle Book, because of the music. But though it would be one of those two.
I did not expect that, but those are not bad calls. Malcolm, I'm out of time. Thank you so much for your time. I was really looking forward to talking to you.
Great. Thank you, Gordon, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you dug it, bro.
Great. Thanks a lot, Malcolm.
Mr. Barnes, why does Sam aggravate you?
15 seconds to drop. So what's our plan?
Great. Superheroes cannot be allowed to exist. I have no intention to leave my work unfinished. The world's upside down right now. Where do we start?
Buck. I have a plan. Oh, yeah? What is it?
Is you ready?
Here we go again, huh?
We've been grinding hard on the job. Can't take that from